This is Valley View News.
There'll never be another Whitney Houston, ever.
Whitney Houston fans across the nation were able to go to her memorial at the Beverly Hilton to celebrate her accomplished life.
We want you to be with us.
GOP presidential candidate Newt Gingrich was in California to talk about important issues for students.
All set up.
Cal State Northridge's new outdoor exercise center provides people with a unique and interesting workout.
Welcome to Valley View News. I'm Rodney Williams.
Thank you for joining us. I am Cherish Holland. President Barack Obama now has a 6-point lead over the top GOP contender Mitt Romney. The Republican field is now down to 4: Romney, Rick Santorum, Ron Paul, and Newt Gingrich. Gingrich made a California stop at a Tea Party organization's town hall. Reporter Liberty Sabala spoke with the candidate in Pasadena.
Yes, Cherish, I asked the former speaker about problems students are facing, like rising tuition and the difficulty paying off large student loans. Here's what he had to say.
Well, the first thing is students should be demanding that they cut the cost of college. I mean, why are tuition through the roof? Why are costs through the roof? Why do textbooks cost what they cost?
He went on to endorse a West Coast consumer product.
Students ought to be demanding that you go to something like a Kindle and have a very inexpensive textbook.
He says students should look into work-study schools like the College of the Ozarks.
My number one goal is for students to be able to graduate into an economy where they can get a job.
Job creation is an important theme in Gingrich's campaign, which trails behind Mitt Romney's and Rick Santorum's. A recent Gallup poll puts Gingrich at 14%. Although Newt Gingrich has been down in recent polls, he says his campaign will rise again. By that he means in California he won't run on a Republican campaign, but on an American one.
I want to say to every Californian of every background and every neighborhood, if you prefer a job and a paycheck to dependents and food stamps, we want you to be with us.
Gingrich spoke to potential donors about getting unemployment down to 4%, adding he'll get gas down to $2 a gallon. But the big money went to President Barack Obama, who visited LA the same week, hosting a $35,000 per plate dinner. Obama raised $4 million in California compared to Gingrich, who raised $2 million. It looks like Democrats still have the edge in getting the California money Gingrich is after. But if he can remain in the race, he still has until the June primary to win more support. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Liberty. The Obama administration is talking about the high cost of higher education. Obama wants to reduce federal aid for schools that don't control tuition costs and shift it to those that do. He also proposed an $8 billion program to train community college students for high-growth industries. He said he wants to provide financial incentives for programs that ensure their trainees to find work. Both proposals need congressional approval.
GOP presidential candidate Rick Santorum is criticizing President Obama's worldview. Santorum gave a speech and said that the president had a phony theology that wasn't based on the Bible. The comment was directed at policies like the president's health care plan. Santorum says it will encourage more abortions.
Walmart is looking for new revenue sources to fend off the competition. The world's largest retailer announced it is investing in a Chinese e-commerce firm. Walmart says the new investment means it will own more than half of the Asian company. Walmart did not provide any financial details, and it was not clear on how much stake it now has in the Chinese firm.
China has criticized Iran for stopping sales of oil to French and British companies. The UK has placed sanctions on Iran over their suspected aim over obtaining nuclear weapons. Iran has said the enrichment is for power generation. China is upset about Iran's decision and is calling for renewed efforts at dialogue. Iran is OPEC's second biggest producer and negotiates contracts to supply China.
Despite receiving sanctions from the UN, Iran is moving forward with its nuclear programs. The International Atomic Energy Agency is set to meet with Iranian officials to see if there are any military dimensions to the program. The meeting follows high tension in the region after Israel made it clear that an attack on Tehran's nuclear infrastructure is a possibility. Members of Iran's nuclear production team say the uranium is being used to fuel civilian power plants, not weapons.
30 inmates have escaped from a Mexican prison during a riot that killed 44 people. Many families and state police waited outside the prison for information about the fate of people inside. Reports say the escaped inmates are part of the Zeta drug cartel. The governor of Nuevo León says the director of the prison and 18 prison guards are under investigation concerning the escape. Authorities are offering almost $8,000 for information leading to the capture of the escaped inmates.
Whitney Houston was laid to rest at a private burial ceremony in New Jersey. She was mourned at an invitation-only funeral at the church in Newark where she sang as a kid in the choir. Although Houston was a pop music legend, she struggled with drug addiction for years. Her ex-husband, Bobby Brown, attended the funeral briefly, walking to the casket, touching it, and then walking out. Many who spoke at the burial talked about Houston's unshakable faith in Christ, which is what got her through tough times. Houston's sister-in-law and manager Patricia Houston said the pop star's life gave joy, happiness, enthusiasm, and beautiful music to millions of people around the world.
Whitney Houston's funeral drew emotions from her family, friends, and millions of viewers watching the service in New Jersey. However, many West Coast fans went to the Beverly Hilton Hotel where she passed away to pay tribute to the singer. Sarah Flanagan has more on the story.
For some fans, like Lorraine Tumbling, honoring the pop star from home just wasn't enough.
Watching it on television was not personal enough for me. I wanted to physically be where she spent her last hours.
And as it turned out, many other fans in Los Angeles felt the same, including Melissa Wong, who was a Whitney fan but didn't quite grasp how real it was until she saw the memorial in front of the hotel.
You see about these celebrities that pass away, and then when you walk by here and you know that it's true, it's really sad.
Although her body has now been laid to rest, her fans are telling me that her memory and incredible voice will not be soon forgotten.
She was an amazing actress, a performer, entertainer. It's still so surreal. She was so young still, and I mean, it's really hard to believe that she's gone.
Just the fact that she was probably the first pop icon that didn't have like a sexual connotation to what she did. She was very fun, she was very playful, but she was so talented.
Well, it was no secret that the singer struggled with drugs and addiction. Since Houston's passing, her fans can't help but focus on what it was that made her so special.
She was an icon. She was someone who touched our lives in many, many ways through her music and through her life. As it was displayed through the media, we were able to see who she was on a personal level.
Her voice was just out of this world. There'll never be another Whitney Houston ever.
In Beverly Hills, I'm Sarah Flanagan for Valley View News.
An avalanche in Washington State has killed 3 men who were skiing out of bounds. The avalanche hit the victims near the Stevens Pass ski resort outside of Seattle. The men were swept nearly 1,500 feet down the mountain. A 4th person survived the avalanche, and she tumbled nearly 80 feet but was saved by safety equipment that she was wearing.
Cal State Northridge has a 24-hour way to stay fit not far from the new Student Recreation Center. Michael Mayer reports on the new outdoor exercise course.
Every day, many CSUN students walk by this small area on their way to class, not knowing what it is. The reality is this small playground-looking area is a new outdoor exercise center known as the Exer Circuit Park Course. The kinesiology department creation offers members of the CSUN community a chance to work out in a different way than traditional gyms. Unlike the recently built Student Recreation Center, the Exer Circuit is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is free to the public. Kinesiology major Louis Rocheur says he likes the open space that the course offers.
I like being outside, and the SRC facility doesn't give you that, that environment.
Some CSUN faculty, like National Student Exchange Advisor Juliette Aylmer, visit the Exer Circuit almost every day.
This is more suited to me particularly. Personally, I prefer this because I have had lower back issues, so I'm not very competitive in terms of the running machines.
Another benefit of the course is the strong emphasis on teamwork and working out in pairs. Kinesiology professor Stephen Loy, who obtained the funding necessary to build the course, says the emphasis on teamwork makes the course stand out.
The way the Exer Circuit is set up is that each station is a pair, so that there's always 2 pieces of equipment or actually working together on one piece of equipment that 2 individuals can work side by side.
But the most convenient part of the course is that it is accessible to anyone, including newcomers. As you can see, students, faculty, and members of the surrounding community can use machines like this one to get a full-body workout on their own time. But some use this area as a training facility for athletic competitions. A student and faculty group organized by Loy trained for a 5K run. Loy says the course will serve the participants well in the future. In Northridge, Michael Mayer, Valley View News.
Coming up, the Northridge women's basketball team battled to first place. A New York Yankees pitcher has been traded, and the Spice Girls are planning a comeback.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Williams. What do you have for me this time?
My husband and my son.
That will do nicely. What will you bring me next time?
My life.
It never ceases to amaze me what people will give up for a drink.
Okay, everyone, we have a lot to cover this morning. Tim should be here any second with the latest budget numbers to take us through the initial schedule for production and...
Ow. This is one way to avoid getting the H1N1 flu virus.
Oh, whoopsie daisy. All right, good morning. Let's get this meeting started.
For some better ways, visit flu.gov.
Anyone have a tissue?
A new study shows that more Major League Baseball players are being sidelined with abdominal strains than ever before. The study observed MLB seasons from 1991 to 2010 and saw the overall rate of abdominal strains rise by 22% in the last decade. The study suggests that this might be a result of too much emphasis on strength and not enough on stretching. And here's Eldrick Bone with sports.
Thanks, Cherish. The Oklahoma City Thunder have defeated the Denver Nuggets in a thrilling overtime win. Let's go to the action. Fourth quarter, Nuggets lead with 7 seconds left on the clock. Kevin Durant from the inbound slams it home to tie it up, 111 all. Ty Lawson with the ball with 4 seconds left. He gets Westbrook out of position but can't make the jumper. We go to overtime. Russell Westbrook with a pull-up jumper over Afflalo, just 2 of his 40 points in the game. Durant, guarding Andre Miller, says, "I'll take that." And on the other side of the court, he says, "You can take this," extending the lead to 5 points. The final score was 118 Nuggets, 124 Thunder, and Durant gives his mama a big old victory hug. Durant finished the game with a career-high 51 points. Serge Ibaka messed around and got his first career triple-double. Along with Westbrook's points, this marked the first time in NBA history that 3 players recorded a 50-point and 40-point game with a triple-double in a single game. The CSUN women's basketball team is atop the Big West Conference standings. First place in the conference was at stake against the University of Pacific. Reporter Raul Delgado went to the Matadome to catch the action.
The CSUN women's basketball team raced onto the court as they were set to play the Pacific Tigers in a critical Big West Conference matchup. The Matadors are in first place and hoped senior Jasmine Irving would have another big game as she was coming off a double-double in a loss to Long Beach State. The Pacific Tigers scored first off of an offensive rebound. The Matadors played a sloppy first half, turning the ball over 16 times. But things changed for the Matadors in the second half as shots began to fall. Violet Alama drilled an open jump shot on a pass by Janae Sharp, and Ashley Guay got a steal and had an easy layup on the fast break. Christina Johnson sinked a jump shot to keep Pacific in the game. Kelly Lewis had a big three-pointer that sliced CSUN's lead by half But when the game was on the line, Pacific guard Ashley Smith went to the charity stripe with 9 seconds left and missed both of her free throws. The ball was rebounded by CSUN's Janae Sharp, who was quickly fouled. Sharp went to the free throw line and was 2 of 2 to give her 19 points in the game with 3 assists, including this one late in the game on a three-pointer by senior Jasmine Irving. Sharp had a dismal first half and says assistant coach Lindsey Foster motivated her during halftime.
She was like, I don't care if you 0 for 7 when you about to come out 7-7 right now, and that got me pumped.
With their win over Pacific, the team has 4 regular season games left. Matadors head coach Jason Flowers talks about how the team played in the second half.
We weren't as sharp at the beginning of the second half. I think we started to make some plays. We started to make some shots. We started to get some stops. Obviously we were able to build a lead and then, hold on to it at the end.
This is a big win for the women's basketball team as they still remain in first place with a 9-3 overall record in the Big West Conference. This is the second time they have defeated Pacific this season. From the Matadome, Raul Delgado for Valley View News.
ESPN apologized and fired one employee who used a slur in reports about the Knicks, Jeremy Lin. The network says the employee wrote an online story that contained a word used as a slur against the Chinese. Jeremy Lin is the NBA's first American-born player of Chinese descent. ESPN says it's aware of 2 similar insults made on the network's media outlets and has also suspended one of its anchors for 30 days. Kobe Bryant wants the Lakers to make up their mind about teammate Paul Gasol. Either he stays or he goes. Gasol has been under trade speculation all season. Bryant wants Laker owners to make a decision now and put an end to all the trade talks. The Spaniard was originally part of a 3-team trade to get Chris Paul to the Lakers, but it was blocked by Commissioner David Stern. Bryant says Gasol is struggling to play his best because he doesn't know whether he will continue to play for LA. And that's it for sports. Back to you.
Here's the scoop.
Keandra Stevenson joins us in the studio now for a look at your entertainment news.
A film about black maids won 3 prizes at the NAACP Image Awards. The Help is about African-American maids who speak out against their white employers. It won for Outstanding Motion Picture. Viola Davis took home the Top Actress Award, and Octavia Spencer won as Supporting Actress. Both actresses are up for Academy Awards. The Image Awards at the Shrine Auditorium also presented a tribute to Whitney Houston. YouTube says it will start paying for some videos sent to its website. It is set to pay some people for their original content by using a $100 million account. The site is hoping that a solid stream of quality content will attract more revenue from advertisers and bring viewers. YouTube also revamped its homepage to show the most popular videos first. Bobby Brown left the Houston funeral just as it was beginning. He reportedly arrived with too large an entourage and was asked to move several times. But a journalist who was inside the church says he only arrived with 3 other people. One of them was his wife. After leaving, Bobby Brown released a statement saying, "My children and I were invited to the funeral of my ex-wife, Whitney Houston. I failed to understand why security treated my family this way. I will continue to pay my respects to my ex-wife the best way I know how." Lindsay Lohan is set to host Saturday Night Live March 3rd. This will be the first time Lohan has been on the show since 2006. Lohan is currently doing community service at the county morgue and attending regular therapy sessions for her DUI and shoplifting convictions. She received her second good probation report in a row. There was a soulful event on the CSUN campus, which the organizers call Soulful Saturday. CSUN students gather at their pub to vibe out to the musical experience known as Soulful Saturday. This Saturday was Latino night. Spanish-speaking student group Roxanne serenaded the crowd with their 3 powerful female vocalists. An all-male local band, Chimera, filled the pub with the sounds of bass and Spanish guitars. Soulful Saturdays is a music showcase created by USU event assistant Rosa Torres, that occurs twice a semester.
We started it just last semester. The first one took place on September 24th. That was our R&B night, and then we had our second one in November 5th, which was jazz night.
With school budget cuts, heightened tuition, and a shortage of classes, this weekend event is a great place for students to unwind. Torres created the event to provide the students with a close place to have fun.
We wanted to have a late night event that students could have nearby, usually where they live, and have time to be able to enjoy great music, great food, and not really have to drive really far, have to pay a lot since this is a free event.
First-time audience member Daryl Hardaway liked the perks of free food.
We like the different styles of music that they have. And I mean, they feed you. I mean, who doesn't like free food?
A long line of students, family, and locals formed for tacos and dessert. A flowing chocolate fountain with fresh strawberries and graham crackers were provided to make a sugary combination. Interested performers can sign up for the next Soulful Saturday event this semester.
So if you ever need a place to relax from school or life, come to Soulful Saturdays to listen to music or even perform. In Northridge, I'm Keandra Stevenson for Valley View News.
When we come back, an art festival teaches youngsters the importance of Black History Month, and the newest PlayStation console hits stores.
Four years ago, I went through something that was very difficult for me. I was faced with a very big challenge at a young age. Once I reached out to my sister, it got a little better. Once I told my mother, it got a little better. The more I talked about it, I felt it coming off. If you're strong enough to just open your mouth, that's all it takes.
Welcome to Fogels.
Beautiful, isn't it?
You expect options everywhere else. Why not with your medical treatment? Talk with your doctor to explore all your options and find what's right for you. Visit ahrq.gov.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Should Americans get a tax break for growing a mustache? One group says yes. The American Mustache Institute wants a stimulus to allow critical hair expenses, or STASH Act, passed. It would provide a $250 annual tax deduction for money spent on mustache grooming. The institute says mustached Americans earn more money than clean-shaved men. So having a mustache incentive would lead to a better economy. The institute will promote its wacky idea at a Million Mustache March on April 1st in Washington, D.C.
The world's first test tube hamburger is one step closer to becoming a reality. Scientists in the Netherlands are researching ways to produce muscle tissue in a lab that would be just like cow meat. Dutch scientists announced the test tube meat will be produced this fall and will completely reinvent the hamburger. They said they wish to develop such meat for everyday use. The United Nations praised the research because of the demand for meat will rise sharply by 2050. The UN has also called traditional animal farming one of the biggest ongoing global disasters.
It's Black History Month, and a West LA after-school program has a unique way of celebrating African American culture. My colleague Rodney has the details.
The after-school program Star Education welcomed people to their annual art festival in Culver City. There were plenty of games for the little ones and even an opportunity to get up close and personal with President Barack Obama. The point of the festival is to put a new spin on Black History Month by teaching the younger generation about a wide variety of art forms that derive from African American culture. With step musical performances and more specific artwork such as paintings and clothing, there is something to be learned from just about everything. Dejari and Dariana are middle school students who came out to perform at the event. They both say they will walk away from the festival with a new outlook.
It shows me all about the people who helped us during slavery, how it helped us with all the things that we have now. And
yeah, how about you?
It tells me the reason why we have freedom today.
For 12 straight years, local students and artists have come together here not only to celebrate African Americans of the past, but those influencing the future as well.
Past, and the past is great. We got to reach back to see what's going on so we can go forward, but there's things happening right now, and young people are concerned about what's happening now and who's doing things now.
Understanding the past and dreaming big for the future is the motto that serves as the foundation for STAR Education and the art festival itself.
So children get the idea from the STAR program that they can become anything.
And that is something that organizers here hope will live on for generations to come. Rodney Williams, Valley View News, Culver City.
Apple has announced that its new operating system, OS X Mountain Lion, will be launching this summer. The news comes as a surprise to many fans because Apple's Lion system was released only 7 months ago. The main theme will be focused on integrating the system's desktop software with its mobile software.
Sony is set to release its newest PlayStation game console. The PlayStation Vita, which will hit stores Wednesday, will attempt to combine the power of the home console with the features of a smartphone. The Vita will offer a touchscreen, a variety of social media applications, GPS, and dual cameras. The system is expected to cost between $250 and $300.
Gas prices in LA and Orange County are the highest amount since last May. The average price of a gallon of regular gasoline has increased 26 times in 27 days, according to the American Automobile Association. Analysts say rising oil prices and refinery closures are the reasons for the high gas prices. The average price in LA has risen more than 32 cents over the past month and almost 34 cents in Orange County.
About 4,000 travelers around the world have been left stranded because Air Australia ran out of money. The airline suspended flights and left people grounded in Hawaii, Thailand, and Indonesia, including Australia itself. There has been no indication from Air Australia when it might resume operations.
A cell phone video of a violent man at Disneyland getting pepper sprayed by a security guard has gone viral on the internet. The video was taken Saturday and shows the man hitting an employee twice and then falling over. Police were called to the Tower of Terror ride and found a few patrons and security officers holding the man down. The man was arrested for battery and assault and was booked at Anaheim Jail. The security guard was taken to a local hospital and treated for injuries.
The new exhibit called Discover the Real George Washington is open at the Ronald Reagan Library. The exhibit will be on display through May and has over 100 objects associated with President Washington. Most notably, the only surviving complete set of Washington's wooden dentures.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Cherish Holland.
And I am Rodney Williams. Have a good day.